For my testing today, it will consist of using K-type thermocouples and crystal disc mark for performance benchmarks. You can see the test system in the description below. Now onto the drive. Opinions on the drive appearance has a contrasting color scheme to many PC components being blue, but since many motherboards come with M.2 heatsinks, it is not necessarily a big problem. For the drive testing, I placed the M.2 SSD into the chipset PCIe slot with the M.2 to PCIe adapter, and I put it under a low airflow environment. For drive performance, the 250GB SSD slightly outperformed in reads, but met writes, getting 2500 megabytes per second reads and 952 megabytes per second writes, compared to a 2400 megabytes per second reads advertised and 950 megabytes per second writes advertised. For the drive performance of the 500GB drive, it slightly exceeded the reads as well, getting near 2500 megabytes per second reads, and also slightly exceeded the writes at 1820 megabytes per second writes, compared to the drive's 2400 megabytes per second reads and 1750 megabytes per second writes advertised. The 50GB file transfer both did rather poorly and quickly slowed down their write speed due to the small cache that they had available. The 50GB transfer slowed down to 420 megabytes per second, while the 250 slowed down to 220 megabytes per second. And I will be sure to include the total transfer time with my next SSD review. Now for the power draw, for Windows, store.nvme is the driver which is used for the Windows to interface with NVMe devices. I might make a video on how store NVMe works in the future. PS0, PS3, PS4 are different operating power states in which the drive will function. There are performance states, P states, and logical idle power states, or F states, which are analogous to the P states and C states of a CPU. The PS0 is the highest power draw, while the PS4 would be the lowest, although there can be up to 32 individual different power states. The PS0 is 3.5 watts, the PS3 is 30 milliwatts, and the PS4 is 5 milliwatts. While in comparison to the chart topping 970 EVO Plus, it has a PS0 of 9 watts. The temperatures appear better than the Mushkin Pilot E, but this is most likely due to lower speeds. The 250 gig hit a max of 45.7 on the controller and a max of 35.5 on the NAND, while the 500 gigabyte hit a max of 56 on the controller and 43.2 max on the NAND. Nothing to be worried about and is safe for low airflow environments. Now onto the IOPS. The 250 gigabyte version slightly exceeds the advertised speeds, reaching 175,000 reads and 178,000 writes. And the 500 gigabyte significantly outperformed in the reads department at 319,000 reads, but underperformed in the writes department at 145,000 writes. Thank you for watching the video. Please leave feedback below in the comments on ways I can improve my testing or my videos.